Michael, the PS5 Pro began development before the PS5 launch, says PlayStation boss Hideaki Nishino. David Carcassoli over at PSU tells us all about it. While Sony had always done some kind of hardware refresh for each PlayStation console generation before the PS4 Pro, that refresh never went beyond a slim model or the console. The PS4 Pro, however, set a new precedent, so the PS5 Pro was a move players saw coming far before it was announced, and they were right. Because according to the PlayStation's chief executive officer, Hideaki Nishino, the PS5 Pro began its development before PS5 even launched. In an interview with Variety, Nishino confirmed that the PS5 Pro was a, quote, 5-year project, end quote, kicking off ahead of the base PS5 getting into players' hands. Quote, "We had done Pro in the last generation. We learned a lot from there," end quote, said Nishino. Quote, "When we were selling PS4 Pro in addition to the PS4, 20% of the consumers actually got the PS4 Pro," end quote. Money, Michael, just say it, just money. It just generates money, right?
Yep.
Quote, "It was high end. It was premium tier. So there are potential users acquiring those kinds of units. Interestingly enough, it was not just about highly engaged users, actually. New users came to the PlayStation to get a PS4 Pro as well. So we started working on a PS5 Pro even before PS5 launched. It was another 5-year project for us. So there was a conversation around whether we wanted to do another Pro or not. But the main thing was there are technologies we can grow up in 3 years time or 5 years time. So the innovation and technology advancement is more quicker in a modern world. Phones are updating every year. PCs are updating every year. I don't think we'd go every year updates. Please don't. But there are things we can package together to bring the greatest things into the game console segment range. So that's the vision." Whoa. Nishino went on to talk about how PlayStation is always planning ahead, that they're always thinking of new hardware and would never release something without already having what's next already in mind. Quote, "We design everything with having one ahead in our mind. It's not like we just make up the next step and we don't know about the 2 steps ahead. That's not our way of working, because we need to make sure that the 10-year-old generation cycle continues to be going as well." End quote. Thoughts, Michael?
I'm curious to see what that number that he mentioned, right? 20% of the users with the PS4 Pro were the ones who bought it. I'm curious what that is for the PS5 Pro, because obviously the PS5 Pro, very, very spendy, Drew, right? That dollar number is going flying around. So I'm sure people will still buy it. I have at least one friend who hasn't been on PlayStation before, and he hit me up. He said, "Yo, Michael, should I buy the PS5 Pro? Should I get into it?" I'm like, I don't know. I think it's a little more hype than that, but we'll have to see. But yeah, smart move by Sony. I'm curious what that means for the actual specs of the PS5 Pro and how it really runs, right? Because 5 years of development, I mean, technology, as he said, grows very, very fast. So if you decide, all right, we're going to do this CPU, right? Years later, it could be like, oh, what about this CPU? And well, we've already committed. So, right, I'm curious to see. I know when they did the showcase, they're like, look at all those things you can do, and some people are like, it really still can't run some of these high-end games at 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro. We'll get all the confirmation when it comes out here in a few weeks. So that's what I'm curious about, because 5 years to develop a console seems like a long time if you want that console to be the latest tech, right? So I'm a little bit hesitant. I think the price tag will be very interesting, but you know what this means, Drew? This means the PS6 Pro is probably already started as well, which is, what, is that going to be $1,500 at this point when it comes out in 2030?
That's the biggest fear, right? They're already on development for the PlayStation 6. So the minute we get our hands on the PlayStation 6, we can expect a Pro to be in development as well.
Yep.
So we're now going to start every new generation to get ready for this Pro version. So Xbox went, hey, we'll launch the S and the X. Instead, PlayStation goes, we're going to launch one console, get everybody invested, and then those who want to upgrade can do so mid-generation. Dude, it's working, right? It is working for PlayStation. It is not working for Xbox. But now it puts us on 2 different SKUs for developers. Hey, this one is enhanced by PS5 Pro. This one is just PS5 base. This is what you get into. Is it enough to carry people over? Dude, I'm interested, but I'm not about to drop $1,000 on it. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. So we will see.